Well, hi there again, fun seekers. It's time for another episode. We recently took a 21-day voyage to Svalbard, Norway, on an expedition ship. And the ship we went on was called the Seabourn Venture. If you mention the name Svalbard to most people, they won't know what you're talking about or know where it is. But sometimes if you use the older name, Spitsbergen, then they might have an idea. Anyway, Svalbard is an Arctic archipelago located north of Norway, and it's administered by Norway, and it has a governor that's appointed by the Norwegian government. It is at its northernmost point. It is between 81 and 74 degrees north latitude, so it's only 9 degrees south of the North Pole, so it's a pretty cold and northern environment, and it's one of the most remote places that you can still fairly easily get to. About 64% of Svalbard is covered by glaciers. The largest town on Svalbard is Longyearbyen, has a population of about 2,500, and it has the northernmost commercial airport in the world. Well, almost anything that's up there is going to be the northernmost of everything, the northernmost grocery store, the northernmost hotel, and so forth. And we took a flight from Edinburgh, Scotland. It was a chartered flight on Edelweiss Air into Longyearbyen, and then we were taken straight to the Venture, the Seabourn Venture expedition ship. So we never really got a chance to see any of Longyearbyen, such as it is. To protect the fragile environment up there, as of February of this year, 2024, they have limited ships having only 200 or fewer passengers to be able to visit. Now, our ship has a capacity of 264 plus 120 crew. The ship was not full, so I guess, I suppose you could say that it, probably met the requirements, but it was close. I did notice that I looked for future sailings on other cruise lines next year into 2025, and there are some bigger ships that go up there, but they don't actually go up into Svalbard. They go to Longyearbyen and as part of a Norway northern cruise. So today what I'm going to do is we're going to tell you about the ship and our experience, and so you can decide whether this is something that you might want to do yourself. Now, an expedition voyage is not for everyone, and hopefully we can help you decide if this might be something you'd enjoy. Before we get into it, first, what is an expedition voyage, and how is it any different than a normal cruise? Well, the emphasis on an expedition ship is what happens off the ship rather than on the ship. And on the Venture, for example, there's no showroom per se. There is a large kind of meeting room. But there's no showroom, there's no casino, you're not going to have big shows going on. The whole reason you visit a place like Svalbard is to experience nature and to get out there. Svalbard is the home of polar bears, Arctic foxes, walruses, lots and lots of different seabirds, including the really beautiful puffins, and an occasional pod of beluga whales. Expedition voyages are typically in harder to reach places like Svalbard, where your experience is enhanced by taking Zodiac rubber rafts from the ship to the shore. And these voyages typically have an expedition team, and ours had a huge team of about, 15 or 16 people, comprised of experts in marine biology, ornithology, climatology, geology, glaciology, lots of ologies. And of course, most of them also know how to drive the Zodiacs, which is very helpful.
I mean, you guys can figure it out. It develops right on the sea. It would develop with this really thin layer of fog, which is really interesting to see, that just sits on the ocean. Then pancake ice would form, and then eventually get sea ice. And so less air trap means pressed, squeezed out, older.
And that's the clear or the not clear?
So it's all this is going to be relatively old, except maybe this part. See how there's a lot of air bubbles stuck in this part right here?
Uh-huh.
But this part over here is definitely really old.
The team members frequently make presentations and tell us about the environment we're experiencing when we're not actually out there exploring it. Expedition ships sail in the Arctic and the Antarctic, and they typically have reinforced hulls that is capable of negotiating ice of about a meter thick, and that was the way the Venture was. It had a reinforced hull. Our ship is much more on the luxury side than what you might call a more bare bones expedition ship, but it tries not to sacrifice the expedition experience. Although sometimes you kind of wonder because, at night you can have caviar as much as you want and you're drinking martinis and, whatever else you want. It's all inclusive. So, oh yes, let's have a good time. And then tomorrow we're going to go out exploring. But we do that. So let me give you a couple of pros and cons before we get into this. The pros of an expedition ship or expedition voyage is, of course, that you get to go to a place you've never been before and is inaccessible by any other means. It's led by experienced trip leaders who know the territory. It can tell you about what you're seeing. They have fabulous dining and accommodations, able to meet interesting fellow travelers. And in the Arctic especially, it increases your awareness of the effects of climate change and how much the ice is melting up there. And of course, you're able to see Arctic foxes, polar bears, walruses, and so forth. Now, the cons of a luxury expedition ship like we were on is that you might call it expedition light. I guess, I have that old Norwegian background that if it's not painful, it's not worth it. But anyway, you don't really get the feeling that you're blazing any new territory up there. You're not adding to any body of scientific knowledge. And sometimes you feel like you're getting into a zodiac every day, usually a couple times a day, to go out, get on the land, and walk around a small little area. And there's also a con that you might have a concern that you're altering the landscape and the environment that you're visiting, which is always a case when you're going to remote areas. And the last con is it is incredibly expensive. This is not something that you're going to do every year or maybe ever more than once. Now, to be fair, you're in a remote place, so it's going to be expensive. And you are able to see some of these exciting things like polar bears, which we did occasionally. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to give you an overview of the Venture and our expedition, and you can decide for yourself whether you think it's worth it or not.
The first place that I want to cover is the Discovery Center. Now, this is what normally would be the showroom on other ships. It's where presentations take place, the captain's reception, and any other activity appropriate for all the passengers. There's a daily briefing by the expedition team in this space, where there's a daily recap and information about the next day's activities. The Exploration Lounge. Now, this space has a very lodge-like feel and is a frequent meeting place for passengers waiting to take their daily Zodiac trips to shore. And of course, as always, there is an open bar. Everything is inclusive on Seabourn. And so, if you want to, have a shot before you're going out on your 9 a.m. Zodiac ride, there you go. You can have it. The gift shop. The gift shop is located adjacent to the Exploration Lounge and has lots of stuff you never knew you needed. You want to pick up that memorable bauble for your loved one? This is the place. Need another luxury watch in your collection? The gift shop has you covered. It's a very nice place, and you can really spend whatever cruise credits you may have very quickly in the gift shop. The Exploration Lounge is where the passengers get ready to head to the landing zone, where they'll get on the Zodiacs and head on out into the Arctic waters. Seabourn provides all the passengers with these really cool Helly Hansen parkas. You have your own water pants that you bring with you, or rain pants, but other than that, you're good to go. The landing zone is the area where passengers' boots are stored and groups gather to get into the Zodiacs.
And no, I never take this coat off.
Never take the coat off. That's
No.
it. Yeah.
That's why they were designing it.
The colonnade is one of 2 dining areas on the ship, and fabulous buffet offerings take place daily. There's outdoor dining, and there's access to the small swimming pool and the 2 jacuzzis. The suites. All passenger cabins have balconies and are good-sized suites with very comfortable beds. One of the terrific features is the inclusion of a warming closet where you can hang up your parkas and pants for quick drying. Venture includes a full-service salon and spa, as well as a nice little gym. All the decks are accessed both by elevator and by this beautiful atrium staircase. Because the ship is so small, it's a good idea to set yourself the challenge of never taking the elevator, and you'll get some good stair steps in. Seabourn Square. The square is the heart of the ship where guest services is located, the library, the coffee bar with snacks, and access to the outside for excellent viewing of seabirds and the beautiful view. Seabourn is an all-inclusive ship, of course, and you can order up a macchiato or cappuccino whenever you like. The club is one of the public lounge bar areas that features incredible sushi. You can stop in for some pre-dinner sushi or make that your evening meal. And there's also always either a duo or a single performer in there to make it very nice. The Constellation Lounge. This lounge provides direct access to one of the prime outdoor deck viewing areas. It features several screens with navigational information so you can keep yourself up to date with where we are, weather conditions, and so forth. Besides the daily Zodiac landings, we went to the northernmost fishing village in the world, Svalbard, where we enjoyed a trip to one of the largest population of nesting seabirds on Svalbard, including puffins, guillemots, and little auks.
Wipe the sleep from your eyes. Quit dreaming now, the sun is on the rise. And by the end of the day, this dusty room will be 1,000 miles away. Once heard it said in a song, best keep to traveling on. Ride 10 deep into town. Another night of setting up and breaking down. And if we leave here,
The village also has a herd of resident reindeer.
we'll be halfway to Barstow by daylight. I'll take the wheel if you start to yawn. Just keep to traveling on.
Well, Tanya, we are up here in the high Arctic at the southern tip of Spitsbergen Island in Svalbard.
Why?
Why? Because it's here. And we're here with our trusty guide, Juliana, where, there she is. Juliana, where are you from?
I'm from Newfoundland in Canada.
Newfoundland. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, from Newfoundland. Is it this cold in Newfoundland?
Sometimes it is.
Uh-huh,
It's
uh-huh.
similar.
Yeah, we see bergy bits out there, or those growlers.
Those are, I would say, bergy bits.
Bergy bits, yes. Little parts of glaciers that have fallen off.
Glaciers across the bay. We're next to some bird cliffs, nesting bird cliffs here as well.
Did you do the hike the other day?
That's better.
But it was so steep.
And Julian, you're the bird expert, or a?
Yes, I'm a seabird biologist.
Aha.
So right now we're at the base of seabird nesting cliffs.
Uh-huh.
We're Arctic species, so up here we have the burning skillamot. In North America it's known as the thick-billed mer, nesting, and also quite a lot of black-legged kitty rakes.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well,
and we
good
just
for
had an
you.
Arctic
I love
fox
that.
scouting at the
Yeah,
base of the
that's
cliffs,
a good
trying to look for opportunity for a meal.
Yeah.
So,
So we have our eyes out for an Arctic fox who's been kind of
Oh, you found it today.
predating these.
Okay.
Does he look for the birds themselves or for eggs? Or
kind of anything. Scavenging,
Anything.
So eggs, could be chicks falling out of the nest.
aha.
Even fish that the bird has dropped, maybe bringing it back to the nest.
Oh yeah.
So basically, at the base of the nesting cliffs, there could be a lot of opportunities for food.
Are there very many Arctic fox left in Svalbard, or?
There's definitely a healthy population,
Ah.
and right now they're sort of brownish, whereas in the wintertime they would be completely white as well.
Cool.
So they're the summer coats right now.
So what was it that just came through here?
There was an Arctic fox.
There's the lovely Tanya leading us on. Where are we going, Tanya?
Down.
Down. Okay.
Down to the water and hopefully on our 2 feet.
Yes.
Our bum.
Tanya has her hiking poles. I should mention that we're at about 0 degrees centigrade right now, maybe a little bit below, maybe a -1. And up here where we are, the wind gusts we're pretty steady at about 30 miles an hour, I'd say. A few gusts a little bit higher than that, but not enough to blow us off the side of the hill. And we came over here on Zodiacs to mostly just check this out and see what else we could find. On this slope, there are these incredible little flowers that grow here in the high Arctic, and they take forever to grow. So we're trying to be very careful not to step on them. And the flowers and the undergrowth here is excellent fodder for reindeer, although there's no reindeer right here on this part of the island, although we've seen several in the last few days. Okay, I'm going to head down the hill a little bit and find Tanya and see what else we can find. So up above me on these cliffs are the nesting pairs of kittiwakes, a number of other types of seabirds, and they I don't know if you probably can't hear them, but there are thousands of them up there, and they nest up on these rocks. This is another one of these crazy adventures where it's really cold, and it's the 5th of July right now. The rest of North America is just sweltering, and they're getting hurricanes in the Caribbean and so forth, and here we are just freezing our buns off. But it's sooner or later with climate change, this is going to be the place to be. So we're kind of the advanced party. Yeah, this could be this bleak landscape could be tomorrow's resort, all inclusive. Ready to head on.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Julie booked up for 14th of July glacier, which is obviously what we're looking at over there. We've got a nice short run from it.
Yeah.
Are we all comfortable with that?
Oh, lovely.
You say no? Yeah. Then we make you comfortable. What do you need? Some rooibos tea? Yeah. Some gloves? You want to drive?
keep to traveling on. Tell me, what is this place? Countless people, but not one familiar face. It's not so bad, I suppose. Starting over every time I change my clothes. Even here I'm all but gone. Best keep to traveling on. Big wheels turning on my lonely song. Best keep to traveling on. Best keep to traveling on.
And of course, no Arctic or Antarctic expedition would be complete without the infamous polar plunge. Tanya decided to do this in the sub-freezing Arctic water and she did it twice on this trip and was very happy that she did. I think she's nuts.
Hey, Jay.
Good job.
Well, Tanya, here we are back in Tromsø.
Already?
Yes,
We were just here.
2 months ago. And it's much warmer now.
Oh, and no snow.
No snow. We still have a bit of a wind, but the ice and the snow is gone, and it's just as pretty as always. And we are midway through our Svalbard trip. As soon as we finish here in Tromsø, we'll be heading north again,
Oh, goody!
looking for polar bears once
Yes.
again,
And glaciers and
and all that sort of stuff.
Arctic fox.
Exactly.
And the whole gang.
Exactly. And what we have here is our food source, is what I refer to as our ship, which is down there. It's being replenished with champagne and caviar and whatever else, the bare essentials, toilet paper, things like that, anything else that we might need. In terms of telling our viewers when's the best time to visit Tromsø, well, weather-wise, I honestly don't know. It's the temperature right now is about, we're at the end of June, and it is in the lower, it's in the 50s.
Lower 50s.
Lower 50s Fahrenheit. So, that's certainly acceptable. But it's quite overcast, and I guess you'd have to check the weather charts to see if we ever have sun here. But you probably won't be getting skin cancer up here. So, these Norwegians, they need a lot of vitamin D, and I don't know where they're going to get it. They must take supplements.
Well, that wraps up our Svalbard expedition experience. We hope we've given you a good idea of what you can expect if you take a trip like this. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye-bye.